What's going on, everybody? It is your humble YouTube live stream host, Tim, back with another live stream. Was sitting around, not really doing much. You know, I think it's the weather. I think it's because it's wintertime. Usually I'm out. I'm about. I'm walking. I feel like getting out. Wintertime, I just be lounging around. But my mind wasn't totally idle. Okay, my mind was still sharp. My mind was still working, and I started thinking about stuff. And I was watching some videos. Most of them just you know I, just regular gameplay reaction videos. I was watching some of The Amazing Race. I got a free trial of Paramount Plus on Amazon uh, Prime Video just so I could watch The Amazing Race. I'm watching like season 5. Okay, but anyway, despite all that, I was watching some other type of videos, and a thought came to my head. A thought which is the basis for today's live stream. And this is one of those streams where I think I'm going to rant for a little bit. Not rant, but like I'm going to spiel for a little bit. Then a little later, we'll jump in the comments. I might still be in the comments, from time to time, but I think I'm going to talk for a little bit. Can we talk just for a little bit? So 2026, right around the corner. 2025 seems like it flew by. But also, it seems like it's been 2025 for a while. It's weird. But it seems like it flew by. You know, um, it's just like when I think about 2024, it seems like a long time ago, but 2025 seems like it went by quickly. It's kind of weird. However, 2026 right on the horizon. And so you're starting to see a lot of people start to make their New Year's resolution, their change my life in 2026, change your life in 2026, how to rebrand in 2026, how to get your life together in 2026, all this stuff. Is that type of time of year, folks. And as I was watching some of this stuff, like I don't watch a ton of that stuff, but if a creator I appreciate makes a video like that, I'll watch it. And as I was watching some of these videos, I was thinking to myself, what if we just like took it easy in 2026? You know what I mean? Every year when this time of year rolls around, we start getting all worked up about like all these things we need to change and all these things we need to do. And we need to like, just become our best self in 2026. And I'll tell you, I'm one of the people who's always like, hey, have our best year ever in 2026, things of that nature. We get really ramped up and we start talking about all the stuff we're going to do when the next year comes in. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe this year, if we feel like it, we just take a break. You know what I mean? Because honestly, what happens for most people is for like January, for about 2-3 weeks, they go really hard. And then, they kind of, the end of January comes around the corner, they start to peter out. And then like, but second week of February, they're done and they start feeling bad about themselves. And, then throughout the year, maybe they jump back on the bandwagon and then they stop again. And I'm like, you know what? It's okay if we say, hey, this year or, whatever year it is, I'm just gonna like take a break. You know, if there's things I get done, I get them done. If there's some things in my life I feel like I really need to do because it's my responsibility or it has something to do with my health or like it's very important, okay, we can do that. But like I feel like sometimes someone just has to put the message out there that like we don't have to start scrambling to like fix ourselves just because the new year rolls around. You know, And honestly, if we're just doing it a lot of times just because the new year rolls around, it's probably not going to stick. You know, the things we do because like we really want to do it or like it needs to be, we'll start that up in the middle of like July. We'll start that up at the end of September. We'll start that up December 1st. We ain't wait until January 1st. You know what I'm saying? The things that like really, why is it so hot in here? I'm gonna have to turn the heat off here in a second. The things that like we're really going to do or we're going to put in the work to see through, we start those up anytime. If we wait around to January 1st to start something, we're probably really not gonna, we're really not into it. So I'm like, why put all that stress and anxiety on ourselves just to, like, 23 days from from the beginning of the year, get mad at ourselves and be disappointed with ourselves, but oh, I failed again. You know what? We don't have to fix ourselves in 2026 if we don't want to. If you want to, good, do it. But like, it's okay to just take a break. It's okay to just relax. It's okay to just enjoy. Oh, a new year's here. Everything doesn't have to be so much pressure. I think that's what my issue is like we put so much pressure on ourselves, especially at the beginning of the year, to do all this stuff. And it's just like, if we got things we're trying to do, when it's time to do them, we do them. The new year doesn't always have to be this time of all this pressure and all this stress. It's like, nah, we can just enjoy January. We can, the year in general. You know what I mean? You don't have to, oh man, next year I got to do this, I got to do this. Now, if there's things you want to do, I have a list of things like, for me, it's mainly like travel stuff, but I got a list of things I want to do in 2026. That's okay. You know, it's all okay, actually. But I don't know. I just think this time of year, we just put so much on ourselves. But when we look back at the past, this time of years, most of those things we didn't change. I think if we look back at like the past, most of the times we did change some stuff in life. It just happened when it was supposed to happen. Or it happened when like we were ready for it to happen. It had nothing to do with the new year. And honestly, I think if we put less pressure on ourselves going into the new year, and we just kind of roll with whatever happens and we just do what we do, I think we might get more done. I think, when the times when I allow myself to just like woo-saw it, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna do what I can do, or I'm not gonna, put undue pressure on myself. I'm just gonna live. And if I feel like doing some of this other stuff over here, my hobbies and spending time with friends, and if I want to spend a little money to take some trips or money I don't have, I'm going to do it. Those are the times when I seem to achieve like the most in life. Those are the times when I look up months later and my life's going really, really good, you know? And maybe other habits I was trying to work on, or other things I was trying to do, those are kind of falling in line. I'm checking stuff off my bucket list. Like, that's when it seems like my life gets really good, when I just kind of let go of, oh, I got to get this done in this amount of time, or I need to be doing this, da, 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 da. When I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna do what I can do. When I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna enjoy my life. And I think a big part of that is the things in our life. If we give ourselves permission to enjoy life and we actually start doing it, the things in our life that are kind of holding us back will become really noticeable, because they will be hindering our enjoyment, right? I think in life sometimes we get so busy trying to fix our life that we don't we don't really see what's wrong with it. You know what I mean? We get so busy, caught up in work and bills, and trying to work on it, all this, that a lot of times I don't think we really get to sit back and see our life. We have an idea of what we think our life is a lot of times, but I think a lot of times we don't have the time. We haven't given ourselves the time, or allowed ourselves the time to like live this thing called life, to enjoy this thing called life. So we really can't see sometimes. But I think if hey, I'm just going to take a break. I'm going to chill. 2026 is going to be a year for me to just kind of do the things, I feel like I need to do, some of the things I want to do, no pressure. You start enjoying life more. Then you really start to see the things that maybe you do need to work on. Maybe we need to tweak about our life, because we start to see how it's actually hindering our enjoyment. It becomes less, or hindering our happiness, or hindering the things we're trying to do, because it becomes less about what I need to do because society or other people tell us we need to do. And it becomes more about like, oh, if I did this, that would help me in this way, and I could do more of this. And I think that's a more fruitful environment than just like, oh, I better do this, I better do that. People say I need to do this, the doctor, blah, 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 that type of stuff. You'll notice a lot of that stuff. We may talk about it, And we may roll with it, but we don't ever accomplish it a lot of times because it doesn't mean anything here. You know what I mean? I'm always saying if it doesn't mean anything, it doesn't mean anything. You could have read all the books, listened to all the podcasts. You could know all the science. But if it's not hitting you here, if it's not making sense up here, if it doesn't really mean anything to you, like we're not going to do it because we don't care. If we don't care, we don't care. I think we start to really care about things when it actually starts to like get in the way of us living. And we're just like, oh, bro, hold on a second. I don't, but I think we have to give ourselves time to like live, man. All this pressure. I just don't want us to have all this pressure. Just let it all go or let some of it go. Very hard to let it all go because we've been taught to just, grab as much pressure and stress and anxiety as we can. And that's being an adult. But if we can let, some of it go, that opens us up to like bring in stuff we want in our life or to not bring anything in. We can just let some stuff go and just let it go, bro. What are you doing this weekend? I don't know. Maybe nothing. What are your New Year's resolutions? Enjoy New Year's Eve. You know what I mean? It doesn't always have to be us fixing ourselves or, just this idea of being a responsible adult, I think has caused more heart attacks and strokes and depression than probably anything else. I don't like the term being a responsible adult. I don't like it because other people get to set what they think. Whenever someone talks about being a responsible adult, they don't ask you what you think that is. They're giving it to you from their point of view. No one's ever like, hey, what do you think being a responsible adult means? No. People are like, you need to be a responsible adult. Now, let me tell you what I think that means. That's why I don't like it. You hear it all growing up. And then when you get grown, that's all people want to talk about. Now, meanwhile, you could just be being a good person, a good parent, a good uncle, a good coworker, a good boss, good God-fearing person, good American. But like, if you don't check these other boxes, it's a problem. Suddenly, like your life isn't, you're not being a responsible adult, responsible citizen. Suddenly it's a problem. But I'm not bothering nobody. I'm living my life. I'm actually doing good stuff for people from time to time and, walking around here with a smile on my face, but you're not being a responsible adult. I don't like that term. I'm an adult based on my age, but beyond that, I don't know what y'all want from me. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, if there are things that you do that make you feel responsible, that's fine because you decided you wanted to do them. It's not a societal thing. It's a you thing. And if it happens to coincide with some of the societal stuff, cool. But if it doesn't, or you want to live your life in a manner that other people doesn't think is what a man should do or what a woman should do or what a person should do if they're of this, who cares? We spend a lot of time trying to achieve stuff just because of the amount of times we've been on this planet and gone around the sun or whatever. We'll change our whole life trajectory just because we got a year older. Oh, I'm going to be 40 in 2026. I better switch this up. Is that what you want to do? No, but someone commented on one of my videos and they were like, it started off like that standard comment where people are like, oh, we're just, specks of dust on a ball hurtling through, the universe or whatever. But then they were like, basically kind of the same thing. We're just a speck on a rock hurling through the universe, but we have to like pay bills. And then, they added some more, but like that part got me laughing because like I never heard it, but it's like, bro, like we're just nothing. I bring this up to say like, we're, We're here in human form on this planet for about 80, 90, 100 years. There's probably so many other planets with so many other life forms. It's really not that deep. It's really not that serious. We don't have to spend like all our time here feeling like we're broken and we have to fix ourselves or we have to achieve anything that we don't want to achieve. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter to you. The things that matter to you, the things that matter to me, is what matters. Other people's opinions and where people think we should be in life and how people think we should look and all this other stuff. We can take a break from all that. 2026 doesn't have to be about, oh, it's January's here. Now I can start meeting these metrics. Nah, what do you want to do in 2026? That's what I'm asking people. What do you want to do? When this time of year rolls around next year, a year from now, a couple days before Christmas next year, what would you have liked to have done? Like, genuinely, would you like to have done? Not what you'd like to have done so that other people can look at you and see you've done it. That type stuff, which is nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. But I'm just saying, what is something that would have meaning for you if you're able to do it in the next 365 days? Even if no one else got to see it, even if no one else agrees with it, even if no one else understands it, what's something I would like to do that I would be proud of? That I can say, yeah, it was a good year because I got to do XYZ. Those are the things. And what's crazy? I think those things come with a lot less pressure because we enjoy the journey. Those are the type of things that, like, if there's something you really want to do and you try to do it, even if you don't get around to it, you're just like, oh man, I'm gonna get them next year though. Like, I didn't get a chance this year, things did, but I'm gonna get it. You notice people's faces still light up. People still kind of have that energy about it. A lot of this other stuff that we trying to do because society says we need to do it, when we talk about it like we're depressed. Oh, I still get, I'm still good. You know what I mean? I look at people when they talk about what they're trying to do, and you'll notice a lot of stuff is just like, yeah, I'm going to do this. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And then they get to that thing. They really want to do, and you'll notice how their face lights up and how they get a little giddy and a little silly, and they're like, "Oh man, if I get a chance to do, I would do that, that." That's the stuff I'm talking about. That stuff ain't stressful. There may be stressors involved, but like, it ain't stressful because you want to do it. I feel like that's what should be on our list if we come up with one. That's what should be on our vision board. Those are the things I'm writing in my abundance journal. My abundance journal, I try not to have stuff in there that, like, and some of it slips in. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it slips in, and a few days later I'll be reading. I'll be like, I don't think I really want to do that. I feel like I like the ideal of me doing this so other people can see me doing it, but I don't really want to do it. Or right now, I currently don't want to do it. So I try not to have that type of stuff in there. I try, like, if I'm gonna put forth the energy and I'm gonna tap into divine power, and I'm gonna call upon the divine and the universe and everything to help me out if possible. I want it to be stuff that means something to me. I'm not trying to have the divine expending all this energy for me, and then when I get what I asked for, I'm just like, eh. Eh. And I'm just not with the beating myself up anymore. I'm not with the stressing myself out. If I can get up every day and eat and have a roof over my head and go down there to the job and make a little money and take a few trips and spend time with my friends, spend time with y'all, bro, it'll be a good year. 2025 was a good year. I didn't do anything too crazy in it, but I did a lot of things I wanted to do. I got to spend time with loved ones, didn't starve, had clothes. It was a good year. You know what I mean? It was a good year. I just want 2026 to be a good year without the stress, bro. I'm telling you, this stuff adds up. This is why somebody like once again, whenever I talk about being 90, people won't stop telling me how I want to live to be 90 plus. People won't stop telling me how statistically it's not going to happen, and I'm like, I don't. My stress level different than y'all's. Respectfully, I get it. If you tapped into societal stuff, 64 might be it. Who knows? And I know time and unforeseen occurrence befall us all. I'm not saying anyone who died young, it was their fault. But I'm just saying my stress level a little different. I purposely set my life up in a manner so that my stress level is a little different. Because I'm not out here feeling like I need to do all this stuff that doesn't matter, bro. I don't be as worried. Tim, you don't have this, you don't have that. People aren't going to take you seriously. Okay. Tim, you don't do that. You know, all you need to have $1 million saved for retirement. If you think so. Tim, you have to have a clear-cut plan for, when you're in your 70s. If you say so. I'm not spending these years worried about this. Was crazy too. On the one hand, people tell you like, oh, you need to have all these plans and all these things in motion because people are living so much longer, right? You hear them? People are living into their 80s and 90s. You really need to get serious about your retirement plan, what you're going to do in the future, right? People say this. Now, when I turn around and say I'm going to live to be 90 plus, here come the people telling me I'm not going to live that long. I'm like, so on one hand, y'all telling me when it suits y'all, on the one hand, y'all telling me I'm going to live to be 130. But on the other hand, y'all telling me I'm going to die at 70, 75, 77. I'm like, which one is it, folks? This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. You can't go through life unless you want to. I should say can't. I should say I don't think it's wise to go through life like making life decisions based on what other people say because they say different stuff. Same people will say different stuff. Or different groups of people look at it a different way. I'm like, I'm just not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna try to make, moves that I'm going to make moves that take care of me as I get older. And I also believe that like the divine has taken care of me since birth. I don't know why that would stop when I become a senior citizen, but like, I'm not stressing about it. I'm not altering my whole existence as a 46-year-old so that I, make sure I'm okay at 66. I do what I can. I'm gonna make some moves in 2026 for the future, but like, I'm not stressing about it. I have to have them. I'll tell you, I just, no, I don't do stress like that. I can't. Who does that help? Who does that help? I'm just relaxing, bro. I'm taking it easy. I'm not taking stuff serious no more, bro. What is going on here? Oh, okay. Anyway, folks, that was kind of my spiel. I just wanted to get that off. Sometimes we just need to hear. I just need to hear myself say it, and sometimes we just need to hear someone say something. It doesn't. I think there's so much messaging out there about what we need to do and what we have to do and how we have to look and how the job we have to. It's good sometimes to just hear messaging of. There's a lot of money made this time of year, and there's nothing wrong with making money. But if you're going to spend your hard-earned money, because I know you work hard for your money, like I work hard for mine, most times. If you're going to spend your hard-earned money, I want you spending it in a manner that's going to mean something to you, and not just because around this time of year, everybody's trying to push you towards self-help stuff and ways to improve your life. When If you was chilling in October and you was good, I don't think it makes sense that suddenly when January rolls around, you're just like the worst person and you have to pay all this money to fix all this stuff. You was good in September. You was good in September. But this time of year, oh man, I better get this, that. Man, when it's time to, it's time to. I know. Some people call this laziness, immaturity. I call it just like living life. Just living life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's the rush? Okay. All right. All right. I'm jumping to the comments real quick. Like I said, I just wanted to, my forehead greasy? What am I doing? I just wanted to address that, talk about that. But I love hearing y'all's comments. So we're going to jump to the comments, see how everybody's doing, see what everybody's talking about. Hey, I love that. Real Hampton said, cruising to the new year, no stress. Let's go. Hey, Golden Rose, vacation to Paris, France in early December. Let's go. Nice, nice, nice. Jelly. I'm jelly. Nice. What up, Giselle? Hey, Sneed, I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Got fired from the job. You said he was making up reasons to fire you. Never taking the job seriously again. You know, I think that the moment when it's one of those things where it's just like it's a horrible thing, especially if you were, working your butt off and when you were a good employee, something like that happens. But it's also one of those eye-opening experiences of like, I see how it can go. And that's not to say every company's like that. It's not to say all management teams or leadership teams or bosses are like that. But in life, sometimes it's good just to have that understanding of like some of them are, you know. And like you say, if you're never taking a job seriously again, you gonna work again probably, but like you gonna have your exit strategy. You're gonna be Bobby backup plan from now on to just be like, okay, if they try something like that up here again, they're not catching me again. You know what I mean? And not say you're gonna be worried about it all the time, but just sometimes just having that little back of your mind situational awareness of like, it can happen, But once again, sorry to hear that happened to you. That's no fun. Year of abundance. Let's go, 2026. And here's the thing, like I feel like we have the power at work. So, so many people misunderstand. Like, well, I did that video on quiet quitting years ago, and a lot of people didn't watch it to the end. People just assumed that I was advocating quiet quitting. I wasn't. We were just having a discussion. In fact, my biggest message in that video was like, if you don't like your job, stay there until you feel it's right to leave, but like find another one. But my point on that is to say, like, we have the power at work. And so I personally, even though I've worked for some companies where I felt like they didn't appreciate me or I wasn't getting compensated like I should, or I wasn't being treated right. And I've worked for some companies where I felt like I was. When I go into work, I give my all, like I work. No employer can ever say Tim didn't give them their money's worth, So we have the power. And we don't always have to say, oh, just because certain companies didn't treat me right or certain companies don't treat their employees right, I'm not going to work, because that's the wrong, in my opinion, that's the wrong energy. I always want to show up and do the right thing. So I'm always going to show up and give my money's worth, even give a company their money's worth. Like even after I put in my 2 weeks notice, I'm showing up. They're not going to be able to say, hey, that Tim guy was just doing the bare minimum. He was quiet. No. Tim did his job. I'm always going to do my job because I hold the power here. You see? Like when I feel like sometimes, and other people might see doing less as holding the power. Fine. But like for me, it's like I hold the power here. So the work I do is bigger. There's a scripture in the Bible that says all things you do for God's glory or something similar to that. Mom instilled that in me when I was young, and it's still in me. And I'm like, I'm not going to let, if I'm working for a company, uh, as I've worked for some in the past that I just didn't feel they was treating me right, I'm not going to let them not treating me right change doing the right thing towards them, you know? And I think sometimes we miss that because it's easy to, oh, you screw me over, I'm gonna screw you over. It's like, no, I'm not gonna mess up my relationship with the divine or get bad karma, because just because someone treats you wrong and they might get bad karma from it doesn't mean you won't get bad karma for treating them wrong in return. Karma don't be like, wait a second, let me go back. So you're doing this because they did this to you. Okay. Nah, karma just hits you. Right. So like, I'm like, you know what? Even if I feel like this ain't the right fit for me because of ABC and I'm going to be up out of here, until the moment I'm up out of here, they're going to be like, Tim showed up to his job. We got our money's worth out of Tim until the day he left. Not to mention, I think that's a good idea in case you have to go back. Um, but that was just something, it pops in my head because, I just think that people have the idea that I'm out here just being like, jobs suck, don't work. It's like, nah, if you say you're going to show up and work, show up and work. If you don't like it, get up out of there as soon as you can. But until then, I mean, you owe them an honest day's work for an honest day's pay or whatever we signed up. Happy Tuesday, up doctor. Ashley, how you doing? Collie 600. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. I hope things get better for you. We're gonna say prayers for you. Hope things get better for you. Definitely. Ooh, Ty Nicole lost weight on your own. You're ready. Let's just say when you're ready, you do it. Let's go. How do you prioritize yourself instead of work in 2026? I always feel like I have to sacrifice everything for work, but in the NFL stressed. I feel like the day, like at the end of the day, it's us, and I don't think there's any secret formula. I just think you just have to do it. It's not gonna feel good, you know. It's not gonna feel good. You're not gonna feel right, but the day has to come when you just stop prioritizing work and you make your this is a crazy sentence. You make yourself do things you want to do. And like I said, it's going to feel weird. And the whole time you're going to be like, oh, I could be working. I could be making money. I could be doing something productive. Da, 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 da. You have to like make yourself do life. You know what I mean? You have to make yourself prioritize yourself. You got to put yourself first. You got to spend some money on you. You got to take personal time for you. And like I said, it's going to feel weird and it's going to feel like you're not doing the right thing. But like you have to go through that phase in order, like you have to go through the phase of it, like not feeling right in order to see the benefits of it. Because that's the thing now. And like a lot of times, if we've always been on this path, all we know is this path. And so we understand the pros and the cons and the benefits of this path. Prioritizing work, while the cons of it are you feeling stressed, there's some pros to it. And you've gotten used to those. Or there's some pros that they told you will come. And we've been programmed to believe in those. But until we go off on this other path, until we like prioritize ourselves, we don't truly know the pros that come with that. And so like you just have to do it. But understand because I think sometimes we're waiting for it to feel right. And maybe occasionally for some people it will, but I think for a lot of us it's like you have to make yourself just be like, nah, I'm just doing me. In the beginning, the whole time, oh, I should be doing that. Nope, I'm just doing me. And then if we can stay at that long enough, we'll start to reap the rewards from it and the benefits. And we're like, oh, that's why I prioritize myself. I'm feeling way less stress. I'm eating healthier. I'm laughing louder. I'm enjoying doing these things. I'm looking better. You know what I mean? And then once we start to see the rewards and the benefits from it, it's easier to do it because you want more of those rewards. But in the beginning, it's going to feel weird because we're just not used to that. But like we just have to keep doing it. Even when it feels weird or feels uncomfortable or feels like we're like being unproductive. That's fine. It's okay to be unproductive. It's fine. Good question. Thank you, Janet. Hey, what up, Long Girl TV? Yeah, I decided to come back on. Golden Rose, good on you making another trip around the sun. What up, Siobhan? Is there a significant moment that led me to this way of thinking? I don't think there was any significant moment. I just think it was. I think my brain has always kind of thought this way. I always was just kind of my entire life. I felt like everybody else was like living and like part of it, and I was on the outside looking in, just like observing humanity. I've always felt like that. That's one of my earliest like memory, like not memory, but feelings. Like a memory of a feeling was just kind of being like feeling on the outside looking in. And I'm like, it seems like everybody else gets it. Everybody else just goes along. And I was always the one who was just like, eh. And so I think that I just have been that way. And then just over the years, the more I look into and read about and study kind of the stuff I was thinking about, the more it kind of blossomed in me. So, now I kind of, have this kind of philosophy of life that's a lot more about living than, I mean, it's such a simple philosophy. It's hard to put it in words because it's just like, and when you do put it in words, it sounds so basic, but it's just like, live, bro. My philosophy of life is like, just live, sis. Like, that's a t-shirt. Just live, sis. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what you gonna do in 2026? Live 365 days if possible. Yeah, no, I might get sick a couple of them days and be down, but the other 357, I'm up, I'm out, I'm living. So yeah, I don't think there was any big moment where I was just, that makes good television or a good story. A good origin story is like, oh man, I was in the car accident, and then after that, I came out of it after being in a coma for 3 months, and I was a changed person. For me, all in all, I think it was just kind of a gradual process. What up, Chris? Lakers, what up? Hey, we got some love in the chat. Alvin Anthony, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Hey, Tim, there's no such thing as job security. If any company laid me off or fired me for no reason, I can collect unemployment. I used to collect unemployment before. Do you agree? Oh, I totally agree. There's no such thing as security, period, in the world, as guaranteed security. There's no such thing as guaranteed job security. That's why I've always tried to be Bobby backup plan. I've always tried to have savings and emergency fund. I know it's easier for me to do as a single man with no kids, no responsibility. But it's always been in my mind of like, this job could go away tomorrow. Now I've been in some situations where the job felt a lot more secure. I learned early on that if you do something nobody else really wants to do, you'll probably less likely to lose your job. But even that doesn't always hold true, especially in today's current work environment. But like, yeah, there's nothing secure, which is another reason to like be grateful for everything. When nothing's secure, I'm grateful for everything. You know what I mean? Everything positive. And I try to find something in the negative to be grateful. Like if there's a lesson I learned from the negative, I try to be grateful for that. But like, yeah, and that's kind of how you have to look at things sometimes. Well, if they fire me, I'll just collect unemployment for a while. I got a little savings. I'll collect unemployment. Every now and then I go on Indeed and see what other jobs are, kind of doing well right now. But that's how you have to play it. I feel like it's just the thought that there's no job security doesn't have to stress you out. It's just something to remember, and just have, as far as possible, have a backup plan or two in the back of your mind, just in case they start tripping down there to the job. And either they fire you or you got to get up out of there. You just, okay, this is what I plan to do. Thank you, Alvin. Thank you. Gravity. I don't think any of us were born into lives we chose. Part of me thinks we chose to be here, But I think it's all, you play the hand you're dealt, so it's just like a card game. You get handed you get given a hand of cards, and you got to make the most of that hand. I think that's how life is. You decide, like, if you're not going to fold, you got to play them cards best you can. In life, if I decide I'm going to, try to be happy and enjoy my life, no matter what happens, I just got to play the hand I've been given best I can with the circumstances that I've been given and with the power I have. How do I best go about navigating the world so like I can live my life in the manner I want to? Like, that's the game. That's the game. And we all get dealt different hands. And I personally feel like the less time we spend looking at other people's hands or comparing ourselves to other people and be like, oh, if I was like them, my life would be great and then I could enjoy myself. I think that's the wrong attitude. I look at other people who seem like they've got the perfect life, and I'm happy for them. I hope they're enjoying their life with the hand they were dealt. I was dealt a nice one too, you know, or I was dealt one I'm gonna play with. I'm not folding, you know. To other people might look at my hand and not think it's a nice one, but hey, we playing this hand. I'm happy to have it. So yeah, I don't think you have to choose to be here and choose your circumstances in order to enjoy life. I think you just have to choose to enjoy life, you know. Jeb, hey, I'm glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that. You know, that definitely means something back to me. I mean, it does. Like that's what keeps me going a lot of times in life. It's just like anytime someone's like, "Hey, man, your message, your videos really help me." Like, what else? What's greater? You know, what's greater than being able to be used in a manner to help your fellow man? Like that's the ultimate to me. So that definitely means something back to me. It definitely does. Lisa, how you stop from worrying about money problems? I mean, I honestly I feel like money problems is one of our biggest. You know what I mean? That's one of our biggest ones. Like it's. I don't think there's any quick answer to that one. It'd be nice if we lived in a society where we didn't have to worry about money. Um, I twofold, um, and I think this is one that make it. I think we try to make the best financial decisions we can so that we end up with the most money we can end up with for the work we do. You know what I mean? And for a lot of people, they're already doing that. So that step doesn't apply to them. But if we're being honest, a lot of times we're not. You know what I mean? A lot of times we're not. So that's one good thing is like there's that step of like, hey, we can get better with our finances so we don't have to worry about money as much. That's one step. And like I said, a lot of people already doing that. Cool. A lot of times we're not always easy to do, but sometimes it is us. I can definitely look back in my life sometimes and be like, the reason I was struggling for money right there is because I was blowing my money. I was being crazy. You know, I quit jobs in a huff and didn't have no backup plan and didn't have as much savings. When I was younger, there were times, yeah, I was just out the door. Screw this place, I'm gone. A week later, I'm like, ooh, probably wasn't the best time. So I think that's one. Um, I think two, and this is with like any type of worry, if we can learn to separate, if we can understand that, like, and this is a hard one, like, because so many of our worries come from looking at reality and then basing what we think is going to happen on the future and what has happened in the reality of the past. And I think if we can understand that, like, the future, the past, and even the present doesn't have as much bearing on the future as we like to think. And so just the fact that maybe we're struggling for money right now doesn't mean that we're definitely going to be struggling for money in the future. It's an abundant universe. There's people out here with billions of dollars. I think the universe can scrape together, 65,000 a year, 70,000, you know what I mean? Or whatever you're trying to get, whatever you need. You know what I mean? Um, and so not always easy to do, but I think sometimes you have to, because if you just deal in like the reality of it and everybody talking about the job market and this and this and this, and the economy, prices going up, if like that's the only like area where our mind is at, if that's the lens we view the world through and money through, we're going to be worried perpetually. So I think we have to kind of distance from that and like get over here to this perspective of like, there's nothing that says I can't be where I need to be financially and then some 3 months from now. Might find a really good job where they're paying really good money and they need my skills and I'm up. You know what I mean? Because that's really what it comes down to. Because like worry does nothing. Like worrying about money does not help our financial situation. We feel like it does. Oh, if I worry, then I can change. No, you've never worried your way to wealth. No one has ever in the history of money worried themselves to wealth, right? So it's just like we don't have, sometimes like, oh, I have to come up with a solution to stop worrying. You don't have to. You don't have to come up with a solution to stop worrying. We just need to work on realizing that worrying doesn't work and then come up with things we can think about that are truthful, that can keep us from worrying as much. And here's the thing too, once you get kind of that perspective and once you get as much as that mindset as you can of like, hey, I might be struggling right now, but I'm not going to be struggling forever. You know, I'm going to be flush again and then some. I'm going to have enough financial abundance that I'm going to be the one helping people who might be down at that moment. Once we get that mindset and then it happens, it's a lot easier in the future to not worry as much. In general, like whatever we get a mindset of, and if we currently feel like we're living in a state of lack or a state of scarcity, if we get that mindset of, hey, I might be there now, but I'm not going to be here forever. When we do come up out of it, from then on, it is so much easier in that aspect of our life and so many other aspects of our life to be like, oh, I ain't got to worry about this. I remember when I was struggling before and now I'm good. Same thing's going to happen now. Or, sometimes when we are good, we start worrying about losing it. But then you can just, oh, even if I lost it all, I get it back like I did last time. So I think the secret to like getting better at worry or overcoming worrying is just realizing it doesn't have to be based in reality. We don't have to know a solution to stop worrying. We can decide to stop worrying anytime we want to, and then work from there. Good question, Lee. Why? I got some water being delivered because when you don't have a car, the one thing you don't think about is like I drink a lot of these. Y'all see me drinking these gallons. These things will wear you out walking home with them. Like walking home with groceries is nothing. I mean, it wears you out too, but like walking home with gallon jugs of water, it's a problem. So I get them delivered. And the driver has been sitting in the same spot now for like ever. It's been 3 minutes away for about 20 minutes. So I'm gonna send the message. So everything okay. I send messages. I don't care. What is happening with my... Let me just make sure my app. Hold on, I'll be right back. Let me just make sure my app didn't freeze. Dang it, my app froze. Like my app froze. The stuff, my water was sitting out front. It was sitting, it was sitting outside the door. Let me see if I need to hang on one second, folks. Um, Let me just make sure I don't need to update my app because I'll forget. Bruh. No, didn't need to update it. That was crazy. It just didn't. Okay. We all good? We good? We back? All right, where we at in the chat? Got my water. I almost feel like I need my glasses today. Hey, Lady and the Chef. Slow traveling Southeast Asia. Nice. In Hanoi right now. Nice. It's amazing what seasonal work affords you to do. We're talking about. Let's go. Let's go. Save and see the world in your time without the fear of not having enough PTO, etc. Grateful. Gratitude. That's awesome. That's awesome. And enjoy yourself. Enjoy it. Sounds like you are. And I appreciate that update. You know, and you know, I was thinking back the other day, just and because of streams like this, and people check in, and sometimes in life you'll have done something or do something a lot, and you just kind of forget how like awesome it is. And I just really started thinking about like what seasonal work did for me and how much different my life would be if I hadn't done seasonal work and if I didn't know about like the seasonal work game, and made me just very grateful. Just like, once again, the guy whose video turned me onto the whole thing. His name was Wayne. His channel was The Real Wayne's World. I don't think he's on YouTube anymore. But I will never forget that dude, and I'll always shout him out because it was one of his videos that made me actually look into it, helped me find cool works, started applying to jobs, and like my life changed so much from that moment. So yeah, I was just thinking, I was like, man, seasonal work has really like changed my life, So glad to hear you're enjoying yourself. Hey, Major, hope you find a job soon. Hope you find a job soon because I totally agree with you. The mind, soul, and spirit seeks purpose. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. Though it doesn't always have to find it in work, but I think a lot of times we do. Yeah, Lady in the Chef, you can collect unemployment. I've known people in the past who've collected unemployment between seasonal jobs, especially if they're going back to, say, they're working somewhere for the summer, and then they're going back in the winter for those couple months or whatever that they were off. They could collect unemployment because they have, like, it's not their fault the job ain't there. That's kind of what unemployment is. So it's just like, hey, if the job I have now is not open from September 15th to December 15th, why shouldn't I get unemployment? If you're into, because like it's no fault of your own, and they can prove like, yeah, come December 15th, I have a job again. And in a lot of states, I've heard too. I've never done it, but I've heard, yeah, that meets the requirements of like you're unemployed through no fault of your own. Like you have a job and it goes away. So why can't you get unemployment? Yeah. Yeah, exactly, lonely girl. That's what I'm saying. Like if you worry about money, even getting money doesn't change that you worry about money. You know, it's the same with love. Like you'll notice that the people who are most desperate to find somebody, when they find somebody, then they worry about losing that person because it's not about the love. It's about something internal. Just like it's not always about the money. It's something internal. It's definitely not about the money if you have money and you worry about losing it. It's something internal. So like if we can work on that internal and just realize, hey, I'm good either way, single or with somebody. In that example, you know, when it's meant for me to find somebody, I'll find somebody and I'll be with that person as long as it's meant for me to be with that person. I'm going to live this life, enjoy this life. If it's single, I'm gonna enjoy it single. If I'm with somebody, I'm gonna enjoy it with somebody. You know. And once again, much easier to say, but it's like we have to say it in order to start working on it. You know what I mean? Hey, 1489, that's awesome. Awesome. Loading up that Roth IRA. Shout out to the girlfriend for helping. Let's go. Build it together. Easy checking in from Zimbabwe, 5 a.m. Nice. Early up there. What's the best investment? Fred, I don't know. Honestly, I think there are so many potential investments out there. One of my gripes in life is that like we everybody just piles into the same few investments when there's literally almost unlimited investments out there. And I think, hey, retired 2019, thank you, thank you. Same to you. I think that people can tell you what's an investment that might have worked for them, or what's an investment that they think is a good investment. I'm personally very leery of anyone who tells me what's the best investment. If somebody just picks one thing and says, "Oh, this is the best investment," I'm not going to listen, because some of the best investors in the world, I've heard them say they wouldn't even pick one. What I mean? Right? They might be like, "Oh, I kind of favor this over here. I kind of do this over here," but that doesn't mean it's right for you. So, yeah. Joshua, what up? Use the system to escape the system. I'm with you, Dennis. That's why I keep telling people. Use the system, because that's all you really got in the beginning. Use the system to get out of the system. Neo and them, they be in the matrix all the time. They go into the matrix to free people out of the matrix. Use the system to break free from the system. Hey, see you later, Nick. Hey, Rebel, I'm good. I'm good. Hope you're doing well too. Thank you. Oh, Lee, you found a seasonal job? Okay, nice. Glad to hear that. Looking up, can you ride Greyhound without an ID? Oh, that's how you found seasonal work. Oh. If I had known that video was going to lead you to me, I would have put it on private. I'm joking, Lee. I'm joking. That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, Lonely Girl, that's my point. If the economy was really as bad as everyone says it is, people would not still be spending the way they're spending. And I know people are going to say, "Oh, they're going into debt, credit cards, Klarna." I understand that. But if the economy was really as bad as they say it is, people would have exhausted that, I think, by now. Not to mention, like, or let me say this: say the economy is as bad as it is, but people still out here making bad money decisions. So, like, you know, if everybody was putting necessities on credit cards and paying for diapers with Afterpay and Klarna, but like I'd be on eBay, I see the stuff we buying, I see the stuff people are buying. I'm like, it can't be that crazy an economy if people are spending thousands of dollars on Pokemon cards. And I'm not saying that's a bad buy, but I'm just saying it's not a necessity. you know so obviously people still out here with monies, or it's not bad enough that, yeah, even though they are going into debt to get some things, they're going into debt still to get things they don't need. When it's really, 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 really bad, even the going into debt spending will be for necessities. And maybe some people are there, sadly, but like, that's all I'm saying. I'm just looking at our spending habits and what people are still buying and what's flying off the shelves at Target. And I'm like, it don't seem like we as broke as we say we are, or it doesn't seem that we're worried about it. You know, I'm until that day when they're just like, hey, nothing is selling except groceries and power tools, or you know what I mean. Then I'll be, oh, we're there. But people, I don't know. I don't know. People do what they do. People do what they do. June, I don't know. I'm working on Christmas Day, so I don't know if I'm going to go live. We'll see. Lene, what up? What up? Good to see you. Good to see you. See, this time I didn't ignore you like yesterday. I was with you. Hey, Electric, I love that. Said I put effort into finding the easiest path to my dreams. I'm not a believer that working yourself to death just to have shiny things is more honorable than working a little, enjoying life. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm in that same boat. Like I'm not trying to work myself to death. I'll work, but I'm not trying to work myself to death. And if I do work hard, it's so that I can do the things I want to do on the back end. I'm not going to work hard and then blow that money on crap you say I need. I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna damn near throw my knees out, right? And then turn around and give you the money because you say, "Oh, you need to buy this product for me," so you'll feel like a real man. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Hey, lonely girl, yeah, yeah, yeah. ChatGPT gives out good investment advice, and it can like back it up. You know, ChatGPT will go in depth. You know, I'd much rather. I'm much more likely to believe AI with investing ideals than like the average person. Yeah, facts. Oh, yeah, major. But yeah, if you live in a warm state, you gotta have air conditioning, so your power bills aren't always lower. Us Americans, we got air conditioning, so yeah, people in the warmer states, they be running that AC heavy, and I don't blame them. So that doesn't mean your power bill is necessarily lower um, than someone who lives in a. For example, when I was in Florida, for most people, it's air conditioned most of the year, and then winter is heat. Up here in Montana, in the summer, most places don't even have air conditioning. So they only run like the heat half the year, if that, yeah, about half the year. People run heat 5, 6 months out of the year. The other 6 months, there's nothing. So their power bill overall might actually be cheaper than someone who lives in a warmer state because they're running AC most of the year. And then, like in the wintertime, they're running heat. So, mhm, 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 mhm. Hey, the observers, what up? Yeah, I'm still in Montana. Mhm. Yeah, that was something that threw me for a loop when I first came to like this part of the country. Working at hotels, yeah, no air conditioning. You know, in Florida, that's a death sentence. You know, you know what I mean? Like you're like, what? I was just like, they're like, yeah, we don't have air conditioning. It doesn't get hot enough. And yeah, this summer, and I was in a very nice house in employee housing this summer. Like it was like this. This was not like regular employee housing. It was a townhome that was being rented out as employee housing. There's a company in town that owned like everything, and we were renting one of their townhomes from like for employee housing from them. So this was a very nice townhome. Probably one of the nicest places I've ever stayed for employee housing, and especially location wise, like crazy. Yeah, no air conditioning, and it had just been built in the last 7 years, 6, 7 years. No air conditioning. It was like, yeah, you just got to open them, and it never bothered me. I mean, I during the summer, I just basically like kept the windows open. You know, even when I wasn't there, I would just crack the windows, and when I came home, I'd lift them up a little, and if it got cool at night, put them down. But it never bothered me. Like I never even had like a fan or nothing. Like so. Anyway, I don't know. Well, I'm still talking about this. Okay. Yeah, David, I hear people say that a lot. The best investment is to invest in yourself. Um, I low key think that, like, how can I explain this? I agree, but I don't know if I view that type of stuff as investing. You know, so like when someone talks about investing, like I know what they're talking about as far as like investing. If I have money, where should I put it? And I do think it is smart to like use some of your financial abundance to do things for yourself. But I'm like, that's not what people are talking about when it comes to investing, you know. But people say it all. Y'all know me. I'm not saying it's wrong in any way. But whenever someone says, "What's a good investment?" 18 people in the chat say, "Invest in yourself." I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying whenever I see need, because I sit here and read comments forever. You know, I've been doing this over a decade. I know the knee jerk response is. So I'm always going to say something, even if I agree with them in part. Um, I'm just like, sometimes I'm like, the person was obviously talking about investing, you know. So we all understand, hopefully, you know, about investing in ourselves. But once again, it's interesting. We live in a society where like we don't think that's common and knowledge enough, so we have to say it. The Only Girl TV, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you, thank you. And I appreciate the good questions and the input, and I appreciate that love, that abundance, that financial abundance. Thank you for the donation to the Freedom Fund. Thank you so much. You're really in the chat a lot today too. I mean, you're always in the chat, but you're really coming with that with those deep topics today. Thank you. And it's good to hear you've been playing around with ChatGPT. I see you. I see you making moves. I see you. I see it. You've never had a car with working AC, Joe? Ooh, ooh. I'm not gonna hold you. My car is AC in the summer, heat in the winter. In my car, like I think I'm stricter with like climate control in my car when I have a car than I am like at home. Um, but like in my car, it needs to be on point. I do not want to be the slightest bit uncomfortable in my car. I'm weird like that. I don't know why. For the investment fund, thank you, Holy Girl TV. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, saved. Thank you. Thank you. So blessings, Tim. Pray you have a beautiful evening. Thank you. So happy to see you live. Gratitude for life is where I am. And that we can spend all 2026 just being grateful. And it'll probably be one of the best years ever. Just spend all 2026 being grateful. What are you doing? Living in gratitude. What are your New Year's resolutions? Be great, be grateful more. Be more grateful. What's your New Year's resolution? Be more grateful. You're not going to do anything. You're not going to change anything. You know, I'm grateful for what I got. Try to keep it young, no. Oh, I know about them $2,000 Detroit houses. I remember about them. I remember years ago when Detroit really went down, and someone was like, "You know, in Detroit, you can buy a house for $500," and I was like, "Shut up!" And then I got on the internet, and they were selling houses for $500. And I remember saying, companies are gonna buy up whole neighborhoods of these rundown houses. And I was like, 10, 15 years from now, they are going to clean up. When Detroit comes back, people are going to clean up, which I've noticed nobody ever really talked about that story. It was a big story when Detroit was in decline and there was abandoned houses everywhere, and it was a fact. Big story. Nobody really is telling the story of Detroit coming back. I'm like, what happened to all them houses? I know a lot of them, they burned down and got the insurance money, and then they just rebuilt on the land. Or didn't get any insurance money. They just could let the land sit there for 10 years and not have to worry about someone going in the house and getting hurt and having to pay. Okay. Nobody's really talking about, you know, when the turnaround came. Yeah, no. Oh, saved by grace. Sorry to hear your car got T-boned. Sorry to hear that. Glad to hear you're safe though. Glad to hear you're safe. Those cheap houses are like 30K now. I was thinking they'd be more than that, but still, I mean, imagine you paid $2,000, $5,000 for a house and it's worth 30K now, and you bought 10 of them. You know what I mean? Like, they're probably worth more than that. Like some of them. Saved. I agree. The world is a beautiful place. You know, if we look for the beauty, I just think a lot of people don't. But I mean, that's the program. You know. Yeah, Lily on TV. Usually, but I mean, hey, I like that. I like that. You know, some days we're like, hey, what's for dinner? And other days we're like, what about the, you know, I like that. It gives us different stuff to talk about. It keeps the chat fresh. And it shows like you're thinking about different things at different times. I think we should, you know, my opinion. Think about whatever you want to think about. But like I think we should be like this is what bothers me about like algorithms on social media. As much as I love when the algorithm shows me love. But one of the problems with algorithms is it consistently shows us the same things over and over and over again. And it really gets us dialed in on certain topics. And like, I almost like it better when we had to get on there and like search for our own stuff. Because now we're just watching the same stuff over and over and over. Especially if it's like negative, then you're just going down this rabbit hole of the same negativity. And that's a rabbit hole that never ends. That's a rabbit hole with no rabbit in it. You know what I mean? That's just, you know, like that's a black rabbit hole. Like it just goes on and on and on forever. You know, so that's kind of like I'll see that on my algorithm. Like for this channel, like y'all know, like when I watch YouTube, I have different channels I watch from. So for example, because I have multiple YouTube channels and some of them I don't post on anymore, but like I log into those channels to watch certain things. So on this channel, it's all like positivity, things of that nature. One of my other channels, I forget what the title of it is even now, but like I don't post on it. There's nothing really on it. I watch like battle rap and that type music and that type of stuff. On my channel that used to be my Greyhound Guru channel that the Greyhound videos are on. What do I watch on that one? Is that? Oh, that's yeah, that's the one I watch like reaction channels and stuff like that on. But I've noticed the algorithm when I'm watching videos on this channel, the positivity stuff, it just keeps showing me the same stuff over and over again. I'm like, I love Alan Watts, but I don't need to see Alan Watts a billion times in my feed. You know. Anyway, that's so I'm working on changing that. Oh, you can still buy those abandoned houses for a few grand. They still got them. Okay. Hell, what up? The story about me going to Atlanta to visit the girl in the hood. I don't know what story you're talking about. I wasn't in Atlanta and I went to Atlanta to visit someone in the hood, or it was when I lived in Atlanta and I went to the hood. I don't remember what story. I tell a lot of stories and I don't always know. It's funny when people this has happened to me before in real life. Someone's like, "Oh, remember that story?" And like the way the person describes it, I can't catch which one they're talking about. And then I'm like, "Oh, that one." Um, yeah. What? Who was I going to go visit in the hood in Atlanta? I mean, I used to go in the hood in Atlanta, but yeah, I need more information. Tornadoes are rare in Montana. Yeah, I don't think we have a lot of tornadoes here. We don't have hurricanes either. Um, yeah. Which I mean, you need a coast. You used to need a coast for hurricanes. Now they come inland. But yeah, I don't think we have a lot of tornadoes here. Electronics, yeah, Detroit's on a comeback. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't hear that. I knew it was on a comeback because I watched a video on it recently. Plus, I already knew. Like I said, 10, 15 years ago, I was like, oh, it's going to come back. It's cycles. It's all cycles. Once again, folks, this is a prime example. I don't have to see it. I knew it. I'm like, Detroit's going to come back. That's what happens. I'm going to give you all an example now. And please clip this or remember this. So when it happens 10, 15 years from now, you're like, oh, Tim was right. Kensington Avenue, Zombieland in Pennsylvania, Kensington Avenue, all those areas they showed, all the content creators were going to and showing all the people on fentanyl and how bad it was down there. I promise you that's going to be prime real estate 20 years from now. There's going to be condos and coffee shops and all kind of stuff. 20 years from now, people go like, oh man, I just bought some property off Kensington. They're like, dang, you can afford that? Okay. Why do you think they pushed everybody down there? Lower property values, buy it up cheap, hold on to it, gentrify it. Huh, okay. It's all cycles, bro. It's all the same game. Okay. Why am I not surprised you got banned again on Only Girl TV? I think that's just an occupational hazard of what you do is getting banned. But yeah, the algorithm, when you're in it and it's good, appreciate it. When you're not in it, you just got to grind and do what you do. I have had to learn to not. I'm more annoyed these days at the algorithm, what it shows me, than I am what it does for my content, because I just had to learn, like, it's not and that's good. It's good. There's not like a set winning strategy with the algorithm that you could just lock into and then you're golden, because everybody would do that and then it wouldn't work anymore. You know what I mean? So like, that's kind of the way it has to be. So like, I don't get mad at the algorithm. Like, it's doing what it's supposed to do. I'm just happy that every now and then it shows me some love, and I can reap the rewards from it, and then when I fall out of favor with it, then, I just got to grind it out a little harder, or just realize, well, I won't get as many views for a while, maybe, or yeah, you can jump platforms. Hey, glad you like the credit card free life video, Keith. Oh, by the way, Lonely Girl, I signed up for TikTok yesterday, so we'll see. Oh, hey, that's all good. I wish I knew what story you were referring to, because I would tell it again. I'm just not sure what hood girl story you're talking about. Saved. It's not snowing right now. Actually, I don't think it's going to snow. Maybe the end of the week. Maybe. This was Saturday. Retired 2018. I'm good. I cannot complain. Hope you're good too. Stay in tune. What up? Yeah, Army Marine. I think a lot of people did. I think a lot of people saw what was going on and invested in real estate when it was cheap. The problem is most people don't understand that things are cycles. And so when things are bad, they're like, oh, I'm not buying that land that cheap is worthless. I ain't buying that. I ain't wasting my $2,000. That's the same thing they do with like certain investments. When it plummets, and now let's be clear, sometimes investments plummet and they're done. But a lot of times, it's a cycle. Things go down, they come back up. Good example of both of those. 2008, around that time, Blockbuster disappeared. Lost all my money. Another stock I was looking at was Citibank, and it was cheap. I remember it was cheap. And I was like, once I was young back then. So I thought it was over. I was like, these bank stocks, this is how dumb I was. This is how naive I was. I was like, these bank stocks are done. They're never coming back. This is how crazy I was. I put my money in Blockbuster. It'll come back. Blockbuster's too big to fail. Blockbuster's too big to fail. Everybody rents DVDs. I put my money in Blockbuster, right? But the banks I thought were cooked. The banks were cooked. I was like, they're done. They're never coming back. Citibank selling for $6. Oh, that's horrible. Let me get this Blockbuster selling for 62 cents. I'm gonna make bank. Though, it's kind of worth it that I lost all my money. It wasn't a ton of money, but like, because it's a good story. I get extreme amounts of joy telling that story. So it's always worth it. You got to do things in life that bring you joy. Telling that story brings me joy. Uh, the bank block block Blockbuster's too big to fail, but the banks are done. Okay, that's all smart I was. Don't ever ask me for investment advice. Oh boy. Yeah, I wish we could make low cost, high quality everything cloud. Now everything's high. Seems like it's high cost, and cheap quality. You can stalk my TikTok. Ain't nothing on there yet. I haven't decided whether I'm gonna post, but I did sign up. Well, you know that. But I haven't decided what or if or when I'm gonna post. But feel free to lurk and stalk. You know, if I get on there. Yeah, yeah, VA2, yeah, the MVA2, the banks got bailed out. Yeah, yeah. Which it's in hindsight, we'd never really seen anything like that. I feel like so there was no way me at whatever age I was, 20 something I was, could understand what was about to happen. You know, now that seems obvious. Like they ain't gonna let these banks fail. But at the time, I was like, bro, all these banks is going on. They're done. No, but yeah, we now we know about bailouts, so we expect it now. Sasha checking in from Southern California. What up? Angela in the building as well. Hello, Angela. Made it home after getting off work, running errands, getting your goodies before the stores close for Christmas. Yeah, this is. Yeah, I just don't like. I was at the grocery store today, and I'm like, okay, a lot of stores will probably be closed by the time I get off work tomorrow. So I need to stock up on groceries for today and the 25th. But I didn't know what to get. Like even though I try to like buy more groceries when I go grocery shopping, I'm so used to just like buying for one day that it's hard for me to like there's like a block in my mind if I try to buy for like 3-4 days. My mind is just like, which is crazy because I buy the same stuff anyway. So I said, just buy. I know what I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna buy steak. I'm gonna buy sausage. I'm gonna buy rice. I'm gonna buy deviled egg potato salad, kombucha, salad, cheese to go in the salad, ranch salad, right? Like, but it's just hard for me to do that more than just like a couple days of that. Like my brain it was crazy. So I'll probably be going hungry here shortly, tomorrow or Christmas. I don't know, because there's no Chinese restaurant around here. So usually on the holidays, I just get Chinese food. There's no Chinese restaurant around here. I think I heard that last Blockbuster finally closed. Maybe I know there was one in Alaska left. Like I saw the one in Alaska in 2017, maybe. Um, no, I forget when exactly, but like I saw the one in Alaska before it closed, and I thought that was great. Like it was in Anchorage. Went to visit a friend of mine up there, and she was driving me uh, up to her place in Seward, and like we passed or we were doing something, and we passed Block. I lost my ish. Like I'm telling you, seeing a Blockbuster when they all the others were closed, I was done. I was like, "Is that a Blockbuster? What are we doing?" Like I was losing it. She's like, "I thought you came here to see me. You didn't seem near as excited to see me when I picked you up from the airport." I'm like, "It's a Blockbuster, girl." No, I was excited to see her. Shout out to the home. But yeah. And then I think there was one year like Oregon, but I think I heard they closed down. Hey, ROTC Consulting. ROTC Consulting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Super Chat Squad. That's love. That's love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How are you doing? How you doing? Hope you're having a blessed, amazing, abundant Tuesday. Hope you're having a good this time of year. Thank you for the love. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, we're almost at 100 likes too. I appreciate that. Corey cometh in the chat. Get pasta sauce, ground beef spaghetti. Here's the problem with that. I don't have a pot. I legit don't have a pot. Yes, Tim, you could buy a pot. I know, but I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of food things when I'm at the store. Like, I don't even think of because I don't have a pot, so I'd have to buy a pot, and then I'd have to learn how to cook spaghetti. Not anything hard to do, but when I'm trying to cram shop for Christmas, there's too many steps to learn how to cook spaghetti. So that might be something I need to do. Yeah, because I don't have a pot, so a big old. I don't have any pots. I don't think I got my air fryer and I got a couple plates and a couple bowls in my rice cooker. I don't think I have any pots. Have I tried fasting? No, just because I don't need to fast. I don't like. I think people fast for like health reasons or to like lose weight, and I think I'm a pretty healthy dude and like I'm very skinny, so I don't think fasting is for everyone. And a lot of times, like I'll work and I'll eat maybe something for breakfast, and I won't eat again until dinner. So like I think I fast a lot during the day, and I expend a lot of calories. So I think I need to eat more actually. So I just don't think fasting would be something that would benefit me. Yeah, yeah. There's a Panda Express, but I don't think Panda Express is open on Christmas. And Panda, I don't like Panda Express, respectfully. It's just not. It's like Panda Express is the Chinese food, what Taco Bell is the Mexican food, in my opinion. No, no, I'm good. I'm good. That's the thing. Like, um, I don't like to microwave anymore. So I guess you could get anything that could be microwave. Like, I don't like to eat anything pre-made. Um, yeah, that's one thing I said. Occasionally I will, very rarely. I'm not really into fast food anymore, and I don't like to get anything pre-made that I could just microwave or warm up. Like, yeah, I'm just not a unless it's like deli fresh. They made something that day, and I warm it up. But anything like you get out the freezer in a bag or in a box, I don't rock with that no more. So it's like, but I mean, it's fine when I just go to the store every day or every other day. Like it's fine. It's just around the holidays I get jammed up because it's like, oh, I have to plan 3 days ahead, and my brain just has a problem doing that. But like when I can get down to the store every day or every couple of days, yeah, I just buy the same stuff every day or every couple of days. I just don't like having to pick it up 4 days in advance. Air fryer, yeah, Angela keeps saying I'm gonna do crock pot meals. It hasn't happened yet. Yeah, so many people, and I appreciate it. I might crock pot one day. I don't know. Maybe I'll start crock pot. Fasting for spiritual reasons? Oh no, no, I'm good on that. I'm good on that. Currently, my spiritual practice has nothing as far as fasting in it, and I don't think it ever will. No disrespect, like it would. I'll never want to disrespect anyone's spiritual things, but that's not in my playbook currently. I feel like there was something I wanted to respond to. Is that cooking is cheaper? Maybe. Um, Here's my thing on that too is like, because people tell me that a lot. Tim, you can save so much money cooking. And like honestly, like yeah, I mean now that when I eat out all the time, maybe, but like now that I have an air fryer, like I'm low key cooking. Like I don't think cooking would be that like because that's the thing. I kind of you know I the I just steak, sausage, rice. I'm kind of cooking it. I'm just doing it, and so I don't think it would be much cheaper I've already got it cheaper. But even when I was eating out every day, I always tell people, I'm like, I don't buy all the other stuff people buy. So people will tell me that like eating is cheap, cooking is cheaper, and they have a house full of furniture that costs them thousands of dollars. Anyone who's ever been over to visit me knows that my furniture is very. Last apartment me and my roommate stayed in Denver, there was no furniture in the living room except for two chairs he found in the dumpster, like foldy chairs. So that's what I'm just saying. Like for me, the spending more money than maybe other people do on food when I'm eating out a lot, that's just kind of where I spend my money, as opposed to people who like, yeah, have a house full of furniture, or they buy a lot of electronics, or they have a car, that costs, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't really base my eating on like if I can afford it and I'm trying to eat it, let's eat it. You know what I mean? Because I do save money in so many other areas that it's like I can kind of afford to maybe spend a little more on food just because I don't have all this other stuff other people have. But it's always very interesting, the things that some people think are okay to spend money on, but then they'll look at you and be like, "But why are you spending so much on that?" And I'm like, "Bro, you drive a friggin' $80,000 truck, but you're telling me to cook." Calm down, calm down. Okay, anyway. Ooh, Joe brought the rack of ribs to cook on Christmas. Let's go. I try not using that pressure cooker. All right, all right. Oh, so there's a Blockbuster open still? Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, Army Marine. Back when, because I have a kind of an interesting stomach, so um, when I'm at seasonal jobs now that provide food, I typically can't eat a lot of it. But back when I could, that was the jam. You know, yeah, 3 meals a day provided. I ain't have to worry about food, especially somewhere like the YMCA of the Rockies, where, to their credit, that is the only seasonal place I've worked that provided meals that they were trying to get you to eat more. Get you some more of that macaroni and cheese. Get you some more of that. Like you could go up there and you could sit in there and just five, six plate it if you wanted to. No one would say anything. Every other seasonal place, for the most part, other seasonal places I worked at, it was like pulling teeth to get extras sometimes. You damn sure wasn't getting thirds. But like, the why? Y'all ain't gonna take some of that soup home? Now, like pizza day, times like sometimes, some meals, but like just in general, if they had it, eat it. Cause like they had to, because it was like buffet style and it was the same food the guest ate. So they have to make enough food if all the employees and all the guests want to eat. Because you don't want the guests coming in there to eat and there being no food. You know what I mean? So like you have to make a lot of food. Maybe not enough for all the guests, but like you know what I mean? You have to have enough food. So a lot of times there would be extra. So like, yeah, I used to eat. I used to eat. I used to eat. Exactly, Angela. I don't buy alcohol no more. So I put that money into food, which was a substantial amount of money. I used to put, even though it's been 7 years now, but we used to put a lot of money into alcohol, and honestly, not mad about it. Occasionally I'm like, man, if I had all that money back, that's like one of the first things a lot of other people say. They're like, man, I wish I had all that money back. I'm like, nah, it was money well spent. I'm not like, you know what I mean? I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad, bro. It was money well spent at the time. But we used to, if Tim had money, we was all getting drunk. We was going to the bar. We was going down there to the bar, and we was all getting drunk. If Tim had money, I was the type of like, whatever money I took to the bar, cash, I was spending. I never went into ATM or anything like that at the bar for like alcohol. But whatever cash I bought was gone. So like I know that going in. So if I take $100 to the bar, I know I'm spending $100. If I had a really good week at work and I was like, oh, I got $200, I would tell my friends, we up tonight. We're getting get the shots. liquor. Let's go. I'm still drinking beer, but y'all get like I'm telling you, whatever cash Tim had in his wallet going to the bar, it was all gone. Now, that's the reason I got into like paying my bills and doing everything first. And then whatever money I have left over is mine to do what I want with it. That's always kind of been my budgeting uh, practice. And like I would leave money at home. You know what I mean? Like that $100, it wasn't all my money for the week. Like I would have food money and stuff at home, or it'd be in the bank. Um, but like, yeah, if I had cash, whatever cash Friday night I took out and put in my wallet to go to the bar with, we were blowing. If I ever, I can probably count on two hands in all the years I was drinking nights I came home with money. Maybe a little more than two hands. Because like every now and then you get some change you put in your pocket. I'd get drunk, forget about it. But like I would be surprised. I'm like, I got five. If I had a $5 bill Saturday morning in my pocket, I'm like, bro, what happened last night? Why we didn't I got $7. What happened? Did we get in a fight last night and leave early? Your boys are blacking out. I don't remember. I have to ask. Did we get in a fight or something? Because why do I have money? You know? Anyway, okay. I'll be on topics. I don't understand how we got on. Um, yeah, and I mean, like, I think there are some people who do make cooking all their meals cheaper. You know, I do agree. Like, yeah, when you cook your own food, you can control the ingredients if that's something you're worried about. You know what I mean? So, like, are there pros for some people to cooking? Yes. Um, do I think across the board it's automatically you need to learn how to cook because it's better? Not necessarily. Um, but I respect people who always do their cooking. You know, I wish I knew how to cook. I probably still wouldn't. I'd still eat out sometimes, but like, I wish I was a great cook. I could get in there and chef some stuff up. I probably would still. I could be like a world class chef. I would probably still cook like three meals. I don't mean I'm pretty basic. Only bring what you want to spend. Angela knows how to party. Let's go. A lot of people starting their business in California, barbecuing hot dogs and hamburgers outside. Never bought anything off the grill outside. Yeah, I'm kind of the type like I don't know. I feel like I check the person out. There's been food trucks or whatever I looked at and was like, other ones I've been like, nah. You know, I mean, void. Once again, I get that. A lot of people are like, why do you go to the bar and drink when it costs so much more? You could just buy a 24 pack, sit at the house, and have beer for all weekend. For me, it was about the experience. It was about the ambiance. I love the bar. You know, so like once again, that was an area where like I'm not worried about the money. I want to go with my friends and like have fun at the bar at the club. The price of admittance is that the beer is twice as much as it would be at home. And that's kind of how I've always um in things I enjoy live my life or learn to live my life is just like if I'm blessed with the financial abundance to do it and like I want to do it, I'm not worried about the price. Now there are some other things where I'm like, nah, I'm not paying that. Nope. Because those aren't things that like I care about like that. But food is one I want to eat good. I work too hard to not eat good. So when I want to eat good, I'm gonna pay what it costs to eat good. Especially if I have like a rough day, I go down there to that steak aisle. I'm like, I'm not trying to pay $25 for this steak. I'm like, you know what? I had a rough day. Get it. Watch me. I literally said that Walmart the other day. I was like $25 for that steak. I was like, watch this. They think they going. I'm not eating a good steak tonight. The day I had, put it in the cart, cash that out. Um, but yeah, that's just the way I've kind of always been. And yeah, when I was drinking, like I wanted to go to the bar. I wanted to experience time with my friends. Like I'm gonna pay it. Other people may not. But I think we all have our thing. I think it's about enjoying life. So the things I like to do, people always jumping on me about. Well, not always, because I used to travel very cheap, but now that I don't travel as cheap, so especially sometimes, like it's funny because the things people will jump on me and be like, "You could have did that cheaper." I'm like, you don't even want to know about the. You don't even want to know what I spent on that one Airbnb I didn't tell y'all about. You know what I mean? Downtown. Be like, I don't know, but you gotta enjoy yourself. Like, and if you've been blessed with the financial abundance and like, there's things you like to do. What else am I spend the money on, bro? Like, I don't know. That's how I've always been. Or on some things and learning to be that way more with other things. Victoria just wants to say that in Plato's Republic, the philosopher kings did not cook. I was going to bring that up. No, I don't know what any of that means. I do. I'm messing with you. I try to pretend to be very uneducated, but respect. Hey, I mean, your favorite celebrity don't cook. They got a chef. Okay. Yeah, sometimes then worked all day. You ain't trying to mess with the dishes and all that. You just eat out. You got it. Eat out. Joe wants to hear some bar stories. I mean, we kind of, it's hard to just like when I'm riffing or someone asks me a question. It's easy to come up with a story. It's hard to just like on command pick a story. We had a lot of fun, man. John, I've been streaming an hour 42 minutes. We had some rough times at the bars too. We we had a lot of fun. I mean the average night was here's one of the things. This was me at the bar. This isn't really a story, but like this is me. Like my no matter what I'm doing, I see things a certain way. We had 100 likes too, by the way, so thank y'all. I learned very early on that like when you walk in a room, in general in life, you kind of want to establish. I used to call it established dominance, but I don't like to say that now. But like you kind of want to establish presence, especially in like a bar environment, to where there's a lot of testosterone, a lot of alcohol, a lot of whatever drugs, where people might not be in their right mind. You want to establish presence early. You want to establish like this ain't what you want a problem with tonight, so like I already came in the bar deep, because we had our crew. And so like minimum, it was going to be 3 of us. Sometimes it would be up to like 8 of us, you know what I mean? So like we already coming in, not solo, but one of the things, like I always noticed how people came in the bar. And some people would just like walk in and and other people would walk in and they knew people. So I made it my point as soon as I came in to be the loudest, go around us, talk to everybody, hug every girl, you know what I mean? All the stuff. Like when I came in the door, I wanted everybody who wasn't like on the dance floor to see me and see us and be like, oh, this dude knows everybody. I want the other dudes to be like, how do all these girls know him? Like that was me. So like the first 10 minutes, me coming in the bar was just me. I'm up to the bartender immediately. Hey, how you doing? I'll be right back. I'm dabbing up all the dudes I know. What up, bro? What up? Hey, girls running from across the room. But I'm telling you, we made it a spectacle every time we came in the bar because it's like a psychology thing. And that's how you shut stuff. You also get a lot of haters too, but whatever. They's gonna hate anyway. But like that's how you psychologically shut down a lot of problems that could come later, because people know from the jump, oh, if I try him, there's like 20 people in here. I go to the bouncers. Oh, what up, bomb? You know what I mean? Like, hey, anybody I even slightly knew I was dapping up, I might have just seen you before around town. I'm like, oh, hey, because here's the thing too. People want to be known. So like if I come in the door, if the squad comes to the door and we're going around and like dapping everybody up, if we dap you up, that makes your stock go up. Your presence goes up too. So everybody was trying to get in on the love train. You know what I mean? So anybody who I even slightly knew that I was like, oh, what's up, man? They'd be like, oh, hey. Like it was crazy. I'm telling you, the first 10 minutes was nothing but like introductions. We just make our rounds. We got to see everybody. Then you go up to the bar. You know, the bartender's already waiting because we tip good too. So the bartender's already like, oh, what do y'all need? Which I think back then I was drinking like Michelob Ultra. So there's always a couple Michelob Ultras on the bar waiting. Let's go. I'm telling you, man. You got to think about this. You got to do this stuff smart. You don't want problems with this. This dude just went around and dapped up 25 people. you don't, you don't want these problems, bro. Not to mention a lot of the people later on will buy you a beer, especially the people you didn't really know. You made them look cool. You know what I mean? Because y'all went around and said, because like if I say what up to you, all my boys is gonna say what up to you. So like now you in the mix. Yeah, that dude's buying me a beer later, man. Come on. Break this stuff down. Yeah, no, we had a lot of fun. Okay, moving on. Hey, Hike with Mike says, take it easy, be mellow, laid back, makes life easier. I agree. How you doing, Something About Your Black Life? Quiet King 24, 4 months sober. Congratulations, congratulations. That's love. That's real. Congratulations. Sober and celibate. Hey. Well, not so much love, but hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, honestly, I think the celibacy rates are soaring these days. Which is interesting. That even the young people, they say, hey, we're like in a sex recession. Google it. Google it. Not my words. Ask ChatGPT. We're in a sex recession. So yeah, not to steal your thunder, but yeah, it is just weird. More and more people have been celibate these days. I ain't mad at it. Ruby, yes. So sometimes it is hard to stay positive when so many people are suffering in this world. That is one of those things that I think about. And I don't think about it as much as other people might, though. And I'll tell you why. I got to stay positive, right? I'm the crown prince of positivity, but like my life is better when I'm positive. And one of the things the news media and social media and other people love to do is constantly point out to you how bad the world is and how many people are suffering. But one of the things I had to realize was that I can feel for and care about the suffering going on in the world without thinking about it constantly. Like I actively have to take steps to not think about the bad stuff happening with people sometimes, just so I can continue on this path of positivity. And it sounds, a lot of people don't want to talk about this because it sounds like you're desensitizing. You're like, it sounds like you're just like, well, I don't care what them people are going through. I'm happy, but that's not what it is. I'm positive. I don't care what them people are going through. That's not what it is. What it is that if I'm struggling, I want to see you happy because it gives me hope. I want to see you not struggling because it gives me hope. If I'm down and you over there down because I'm down, we're both down. Where's the hope? You know what I mean? I think we forget sometimes like the example that we can set for people. If I was dealt a crazy hand in life, I want to see other people living their life. I want to see happiness. I want to see joy. I don't want you to have no part to this. Now I appreciate, when you show me love and you're there for me and things of that nature, but like you're there for me better when I'm down if you're up. But it is hard. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's easy. It is hard, but it's been easier. It's been more helpful when I realized like, oh, I'm not saying I don't care about what people are going through. I'm not saying that just like, oh, I'm just super happy over here, so I don't pay them any attention. I'm like, part of the reason I do this is to help. That's how, like, so many people are going through things and we can't do anything to help. There's very little within our power we can do to help. People we can help, we help. People I can't help, I try to help. But there's so many people suffering that I just can't directly help them with their suffering. But I can indirectly do it with my energy, putting this positivity, putting this love, talking about happiness, talking about joy, putting hope out there. I think that's the way you indirectly help people. But that doesn't mean we have to dwell on the suffering all the time, because if we do that, yeah, like you said, we can't be where we need to be. And I feel like that's where, like, society wants us. Society wants us all down. You make bad decisions when you're down. You blow money on crap you don't need when you're down. You turn to your vices when you're down. I'm not playing that game, and part of that is for the people who are struggling. And we all struggle. You know what I mean? And that's the thing too. Like, it's when you talk about positivity a lot, people are always like, "Oh, that's easy for you to say. Your life is great." And I'm like, my life is amazing, but not from a standpoint of like nothing bad happens to me, or nothing bad happens to my family members, or I don't have things in my brain that bother me to my core that have happened to people I love. But you know what I mean? We have to, best we can, get through that, because I realize the best way to help those people that I love, who've been through some horrible things, who've had to struggle, is for me to like present this way. And whenever they see me, to the best of my ability, I'm out here talking about hope. I'm out here talking about life change. I'm out here talking about you could be victimized and not be a victim. You, whatever you're going through, we can do this. I'm not gonna be the person who's like, oh yeah, you had it really, really, really bad, so it's over for you. No, 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 no. I'm not. No, nobody gets a pass. We all, you know what I mean? Like, and honestly, I think that's what people are doing sometimes. Oh yeah, I understand you had this great life, so you could. But what about people here? I'm like, what about them? I think they can have a great life too, despite that stuff. I think they can have their best year ever still. Their best year ever may not, because of circumstances, look like someone else's best year ever. But like, I'm not taking power away from that person. I'm not going to sit here and say they can't do it. I feel like that's what we're doing sometimes. Oh, there's some people going through a lot of things. This message isn't helpful for them. Who am I to say no? Nah, I'm going to keep giving this hope out. I'm gonna keep giving this happiness out for all of us, bro. And when I look at it from that standpoint of like, yes, there will be people in this life who struggle more than me, but I still think they can be tapped into divine power. It's still an abundant universe. They still can have the best life possible if more of us let them see that. That's when I'm less in my bag of like, oh, pain, suffering. You know what I mean? Because that person, think about this. Think about like the next level. One of us on here is blessed through our example to help someone who's had a really bad childhood, really messed up childhood, really went through some horrible stuff. One of us is blessed to be able, through our example, through our message, help them to get to a place where like they overcome it. Now they are uniquely positioned to talk to other people who are going through it like them. You know what I mean? So it's like, we gotta keep being positive. Like, we're doing a disservice to those people who are struggling if we don't stay positive. And it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm like, I'm doing a disservice to them if I stop being positive, if I lose hope. Because I want them to be able to look at us and be like, man, there are still good people in the world. There is still this going on. There is still happiness. People are still smiling. Man, I can overcome this. But if we all just down, we all just stay down. So like, I feel like it's help. That's a way to help. as opposed to feeling like, oh, it's not right for me to be happy and enjoy my life when other people can't. I'm like, I'm doing it for them, just like other people have done it for me. When I was down, I'm depressed, I'm going through this stuff, seeing other people, having other people to come back to, and when I got over what I was going through, to feel that love on that level, like we need that. But it is hard sometimes. I agree. I agree. Okay. All right. I feel like I went in on that one. I've actually clipped that one. It's harder to one to talk about sometimes though. Is it worth it trying to date in 2026? I mean, if you want to date, go for it. Like, y'all know me. I'm not a big fan of letting outside things influence. Like, if I'm trying to do it, I'm trying to do it. If I'm trying to meet somebody, I'm trying to meet somebody. Like, and if the universe sees fit to send that person my way, well, then let's go. So, yeah, I mean, Quiet King said, you made a curfew? You made a curfew for yourself where you make yourself be home by 8? I mean, if that's what you want to do, I don't think that's overreacting. If you're like, hey, I make a lot of bad decisions after 8 o'clock, 8:15, it's a problem. Then do whatever feels right for you. Where's the homies in the building? Where? Yeah. Where hold on. I missed old T Snacks. Where at? I see two people say, bro, am I tripping? Bro, am I tripping? I wish there was a search feature. Bro, I feel like I'm totally tripping here. Two people said travel snacks in the building, but I don't see her. Oh, there you are. I see you, bro. Okay, I see. Bro, I finally saw you. I don't know where did you come in initially? Like, I legit do not see you. I legit do not see you. That's crazy. I'm telling you, I'm going all back through the chat, but I see you say bro, so that's good enough. Okay, that's crazy. I literally was looking for you, bro. Good to see you. T Stacks in the building. T Stacks in the building. Like, I literally was like, I know she ain't in here. I didn't see her. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's still not. I'm telling you, YouTube be acting crazy sometimes. Still, Tim, get over it. I actually was at Lakers. I was having this conversation with my dad the other day, and I don't know. I think sometimes we put the past on a pedestal and act like things were so much better in the past when things might be a little worse now, but it's not always, you know what I mean? Like, dating was always hard. I as much as like we demonize social media apps, it like what were people like? People still, I think most people meet people at work or through friends. If you didn't do that, even in the 90s and before social media, you struggled. You could go to the bar, you could go to the club, but I was there. It wasn't always that easy. You know what I mean? So, like, I think sometimes we put dating in the past on like a pedestal, and maybe in some area, like, I think the areas where dating is different now isn't totally because of like social media or people's habits. I think it's the world has kind of changed. But I'm like, it wasn't like there was an easy way to meet people, you know what I mean, in 2010 before, you know what I mean? Like it was the same argument. Where do you meet? It was the same argument. Where do you meet somebody? People at grocery store, like I'm telling you, people met people at work, or like you met people at school, or like you met them through friends. The same kind of places where most of the people meet, like I think the people they get with these days. I honestly think dating apps might have, helped some people like myself meet more people. I just think the world has changed. And I think that has played a big part on dating. And I think a lot of times we try to put it all on social media, but I'm like, I don't think, and like dating apps, I'm like, I don't think it's it's the same people. This is what I think sometimes we don't think about. It's the same people, the same behaviors, those same dudes that are trifling on Tinder, they trifling in real life, like they was trifling before Tinder. The pickup bros and all that, the same women who not in these women on these dating apps, they don't want an average guy. They didn't want an average guy at the bar. Trust me. We look back at the past and like we're like, oh, it was so much easier then. I'm like, bro, like I think just in general, because the way the world is, we're dating less and it's harder to meet people possibly. And I do think phones play a part in that, but I don't think dating apps have killed dating. Because dating was hard even before the dating. Like now we just have someone to blame. Before there was nothing to blame, right? If you was single in '84, there was no one thing you could point to and blame. I feel like possibly there was, but like now we can say, oh, dating apps killed dating. It's the same humans. So we're saying that the ease of getting this is what we're saying. Dating apps made it easier for people to meet people. And so that killed dating. So, in order to save dating, we need to make it harder to meet people. Not saying that might not be the case, but I'm just saying, like, we always demonize things when it's us. If you took all the dating apps away tomorrow, we would have the same problems. I was there beforehand. Ask the OGs, they'll tell you. If we did demonize it, it was like, oh, don't ever meet anybody at the club. Don't ever date nobody from the bar. Now it's like, oh, I'd never meet anybody in a dating app. I don't know. I just don't think it's that clear cut to just point fingers. Crystal, what up? Stand firm in goodness. Let's go, Crystal. Exactly. Gravity, I know so many people who start. Hey, I'll give an example. My buddy Mike on the channel. I'll give an example. He put his story, it's on the channel. Mike was going through it. All kind of stuff. This ain't me putting his business out there. He talked about on the channel. All kind of stuff. He was down, low, drug addiction, other, you know what I mean? Like it was. And my man is doing great right now. Like that man is doing great. You know, like good. My boy's up. You know what I mean? So like, that's just a quick example. Someone off the top of my head of someone who like I feel like society hit years ago. That dude's not amounting to nothing. Up. Had his struggles, had the things he was going through, things in his path. Boom, boom, boom. Nah, up. You know what I mean? So like, and there's so many people. I mean, I honestly think there's more just average people who overcome adversity and just get a better life than there are the celebrity stories, the influencer stories. I think more of us hear about those, but the average person who just had like I said, a horrible childhood or something along those lines, and they overcame it, and now they're just a great mother or father and live, the life they always wanted and are providing the childhood for their kids they didn't have. I think that happens way more than we ever talk about. because people are strong. We can overcome so much. We adapt, we grow, we overcome, we fight. That's what humans do. That's why we're still here. But you hear far less of that than you do the talking about the problems or the struggles, I think. Blue Anna, what up? I got live comments on T Snack, so maybe I no, yeah, I got live comments on. Oh, and of course now I just revamped it. Yeah. It's the same people. Thank you, Water. I'm glad to be here. It's the same people. I'm with you, Army Marine. Yeah, I just sit back and wait, bro. Like if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Like, but like I don't know. Like I'm maybe with me it's age, but like I just don't care. Like it's like if I end up dating, I date. If I don't, I don't. Like it's really well, it's I don't know. It's just a different state of existence. It's not like one's better or worse than the other. It's a good place to be. I mean, I don't know. I think especially young men, we get so much bad advice, and we get so much. All we have all these beliefs that as you get older, I think you just realize are not true. You know, they're just not true. Oh, man's got to do this. Women don't want this. Just people, just stuff. Like, here's the thing, too. Just because it's true for other people doesn't mean it's true for me. That's where I'm at with it. I don't really, someone could say, oh, 100 people were surveyed and 100 of them said this. Well, I'll be the 101 person and it might be different for me. I just don't live my life based on like, oh, other people said this is how it has to be done, so I have to do it that way. No, I'm tapped into universal power. I have my own relationship with the divine. Ain't nobody else in this body but me. I'm gonna do it the way I want to do it, and just because it didn't work for you doesn't mean it won't work for me. Like I just don't get why we don't all live that way. I just don't understand it. I do. I know the program and everything, but I'm like, I don't understand why we constantly live. Oh, this is the. If I'm just gonna sit back and wait till a baddie comes along and approaches me, that's what I'm gonna do. Or if she doesn't come along, that's fine. Like I don't know. Like I just don't. There's so many things. Whenever you say you're gonna be, oh, you can't do it. I'm like, bro, I'm just like no one else can tell me what's right for me. Definitely not people like just random people, like my friends or loved ones or people in my life council, people whose opinions matter to me. Yes, with them, I will listen if they're, hey Tim, I kind of think this. I'm listening, but just random people just telling you how life works, generalizing. Why would I live my life based on generalizations? Because I don't want a general life. If I try something that don't work, then I know then I know. Always been this way. Now, I was this way about stuff that I shouldn't have been as a kid. You put your hand in that fire, you're gonna burn it. You can't tell me, that type of kid. But just in like grown up stuff that nobody knows anyway, like you can't tell me that's not the way it works for me. Respectfully, that's the way it's gonna work for me. Possibly, I don't know. I don't know, man. I just it's hard to tell Tim anything. I know. Who would you date and feel like you hit the jackpot? I mean, it would have to. How can I know? Like, I'll let you know if it happens. You know. Oh, I've been said people gonna start dating AI robots. Y'all, I don't. That's coming. I'm I'm no doubt in my mind that's gonna happen. I'm not mad at people. If you want to date a robot, date a robot. I don't care. Like wherever you gotta find love. Retired 2019, you heading to Myrtle Beach? Nice, nice, nice. Have fun. I'm trying to get back out there one of these days, man. I miss Myrtle Beach. Yes, I love it. Retired 2019. Stop thinking about dating. You're broke. Build wealth. Honestly, I think more people are taking that advice these days. Dating costs money, bro. I think about that. Yeah, no. I'm like, dating costs money. Like here's what happens with me. I'll be totally transparent. I might see a woman. I was down at the grocery store today, and the woman in the bagging, you self checkout. They have one person, a couple people, working the self checkout. You got to bring your own stuff up, and she was cute, right? And she was very friendly because, like, it was an area. It wasn't lines like this. It was like a corral. They have like a cashier corral, right? So you can't always see the self checkout machines that are open. So everybody's doing this. And she was like, I was waiting. I was the next person, and I was just kind of waiting. And she was like, "Hey, number 9 is open." I was like, "Oh, thank you." And she's like, "Yeah, it's kind of hard to see." And like, I smiled. She smiled. Cool. And then I had a little basket. And that's always the next thing. You're like, do I leave the basket here when I go? Do I turn the basket back in? And as I turned around, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with this basket, she was like, I'll take that for you. And I was like, oh, thank you. And we smiled at each other again. Yeah, no. And then I was leaving. I was like, man, she's cute. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to come back here and, say a little more. And then as I was walking home with my groceries, I started thinking, you start imagining, fantasizing, how this could go. And then I just was like, yeah, but that would cost so much money. Everything you thought, oh, take her out to eat. I'm like, bro, all that costs money, bro. Suddenly I have to do all this new stuff that costs money and like would take me out of, the comfort zone and doing things I like to do now. And I'm not gonna lie, part of me was like, what's be the point? Like, and that's no shade to her. She's a beautiful woman. No shade to her. And I'm sure it would be enjoyable. And maybe it would be worth it. But there's that part of me that's just like, eh, is it though? I'm just like, bro, this date stuff is expensive, man. I'm chilling. Yeah, no, everybody talk about cooking's cheaper. Well, then okay. But then they want you to go on a date. That's expensive. But everybody's cool with that. See, this once again, I'm telling you, people very selective. The things they think are okay. You should be dating somebody. That costs a lot of money. Oh, that's okay. I eat out. That's too expensive. Okay. Okay. I'm just saying. No, I think about that a lot. You know. Joe, I don't know if my friends and family have a big opinion about my YouTube channel. Like, you mean like I mean, people know I have one. But I don't know if it's a maybe they think it's cool. I mean, you know, I think my close friends think it's cool because they know what I get out of it. You know what I mean, and what it's done for me in my life. So on that note, I think they think it's cool. But honestly, I think most of my friends pay very little attention to my YouTube channel, like because they know me. So yeah, Rose. We working. Wow. Let's keep it respectful in the chat. And let's not be calm. I'm watching that one. That was a little out of pocket. That was a little out of pocket. spitting that abundance game. You know me. Albuquerque the Bill. What up, Rick? Which I actually you have kind of a point there. I shouldn't. That's kind of a. You know what? That's kind of a scarcity mindset to be like dating's expensive. If I see someone I really want to date, I shouldn't worry about the money because it's an abundant universe. I like how you checked me there. That's how you check somebody. I appreciate that. You checked me. I appreciate that. Where are you at now, Mr. Abundance? Thank you. See? 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 Well, no, I'm old. The abundance, I get it. Come to date. No, it's too expensive. See? If it's meant to be between me and her, I don't need to worry about the money. I'm finna go back to the grocery store right now. I'm joking. Pacific, you're welcome. You're welcome. Glad you got some out of the sobriety videos. Next month be 4 years. Let's go. Let's go. Glad you like those videos. And just okay, gentlemen, let's move on. Let's get a little heated in the chat. It's all love. It's all love. I don't know if I'm gonna stream Christmas Day, John. I don't know. I'm not sure. I gotta work. So it's. I mean, if I get off work and I'm chilling, I probably will. I don't know. Oh no, man. Hey, shout out to that coworker retired 2019. And I wasn't coming at you. And anyway, you OG on the channel, you've been around forever. So that's why I was just letting it play out. Because hey, I know you, I know, and I didn't really like, bro. 57 is an amazing age to retire at. So anyway, yeah. Shout out to that coworker. You know what I mean? I think we all need. It's funny. Like I think it's crazy. Kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier. One person can save one thing, or you know what I mean, or tell us something, or constantly remind us something for 6 months, and then it could change the whole trajectory of our life. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Like, it's crazy how powerful words are. And that's why I'm like, I want to spend a good portion of my words trying to help people, as opposed to like just talking about negativity or talking about stuff that doesn't matter, or you know what I mean? Like it's like, bro, once we realize how powerful our words are, shouldn't we spend more time like using them for good? No. So think about, I know Angela was watching too. I know you was watching too, Angela. I know you was watching too. I'm ready for summer too. Facts. The first snow and walking in the snow is cool. It ain't so cool now, but we got 4 more months of it. So we're going to do what we got to do. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of doing what we got to do, I got to jump off. I got work tomorrow. So I want to get a little din in me. And then, maybe watch a little something and then, go to bed. So I'm going to jump off. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm so happy we got through the stream. I think I might have figured out what the issues were with the streaming. So got through the stream over 2 hours. Didn't have any hiccups. That's amazing. Thank y'all for being here. Big shout out to the Super Chat squad. That's love. Shout out to Angela, the world's greatest moderator. Actually, let me shout out to the Super Chat squad. I feel like I went over that too quickly. Means so much to me, the financial abundance. Thank y'all. And thank everyone for being here. The OGs, the lurkers, the thumbs uppers, everybody. I appreciate the comments. Shout out to Travel Snacks. I almost missed you. I feel like they was censoring your comments somehow, because I don't know what you was doing, but I wasn't seeing you. But anyway, appreciate everyone being here. I love each and every one of y'all. We will talk again soon. See ya.